Hi, everyone, and welcome to Proline Daily, the longest-running sports handicapping show in America, direct from Las Vegas. It's Final Four week. Plenty of NBA still rolling. Jim Feist is here. I'm Dave Cokin. And Jim, it's now 60-38 for you in college basketball. Coastal Carolina, well, they coasted last night.
They lived up to their name and they coasted. That's right. I also hit my TV showdown with San Antonio, the Spurs. I'm 43-22 NBA run right now, plus $1,900, 155 and 116 in the NHL, plus $2,000, 210 and 240 in college hoops, plus 5,075. I have a 3-pack of available today in the NBA and NHL at jimfeist.com. Just go right there, along with the NBA Western Conference total of the month, just $25 for each package. I also have a pair of college tournament games tonight in the NIT, $49 high-end inner circle release. Go to jimfeist.com right now for all of that.
I had a good day yesterday. One push, which was unbelievable. I had the Mavericks +1. It actually closed at +2, but when we set it out, it was +1. 91-78, they're ahead. They never scored another point. Oklahoma City went on a 14-0 run to end the game, and it lands on 1. Unbelievable that a pro team can be that bad at the end of a game, at home, no less. But not going to complain because all three of the baseball plays got there yesterday, so it was a very good day. I didn't play the college basketball game. I am playing the NIT game tonight. I have 2 NHL games, nothing in the NBA as of now, and I'm still working on the baseball, but definitely in action tonight with 3 good plays. And the baseball, it's been good. I had one little 3-day stretch where the bullpens kind of did me in last week. That was early last week, but it's been rolling since then. I think it's 8-1 in the last 9, if I'm not mistaken. So, this exhibition baseball, when I hear people say, how can you play those games? They don't count because you get bargains. I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday, the Pirates were at home against Minnesota. And Minnesota basically took nobody on this trip. They had Sano and I think one other regular. The rest of it was all shock troops. Plus, they had Phil Hughes, who stinks, on the mound. And this is a game that, in the regular season, based on the lineups and the pitching on the Pittsburgh side, with the guy that pitched Nova on the mound, this would have been about 240. It was 150 yesterday. I mean, you can't tell me that 90 cents, or if you want to be conservative, maybe 60 cents of value. It would have been at least 210. I don't care whether it's exhibition baseball, real baseball, or tiddlywinks. If you're getting 60 cents of value, you just take it. And I did, and that was an easy winner. I think they got 3 or 4 off Hughes right away, and that was the end of that. So this exhibition baseball is only a few days left, but it's definitely worth having. So we're going to do a monthly package right here. It's going to get you the rest of March, so there's 4 days left in March, in all of April, and you'll get all my plays in baseball. Plus, we'll throw in whatever is out there in the tournaments the rest of the way. We're going to do that for $300. That's a pretty good price for a lot of action, and I'm ready to go in baseball, and I've gotten off to some very good starts in the past. Can't always guarantee that's going to be the case. They got to play the games, but I know I get the work done, that's for sure. The number is 855-472-2577. So anyway, terrific offer, and I hope you take advantage of it. And again, visit jimfeist.com, and you'll find selections available there as well. So let's talk a little NFL news because it's now official, Jim. We have an NFL team here in Las Vegas, the Oakland Raiders, 31-1. Miami, the only dissenting vote. The owner was clear on why he did that. He doesn't think there should be public funding. I think a lot of people have that argument, but the fact is we don't get the team without public funding. So, and we don't get the new stadium, which Las Vegas needs. It's not just about football. For those of might not be aware, the demographic of Las Vegas has changed. I should say the demographic of the visitor to Las Vegas has changed over the last few years. And you see this on the TV ads where it's all about excitement and entertainment. There's not even a mention of gambling on any of the network ads you see. And the reason for that is that the younger generation that's now the primary target audience, the millennials, they really don't come here to gamble. And why would they? You can gamble almost any place. You can gamble online. There are casinos all over the country that have the same machines we've got here in Las Vegas, and blackjack and craps and all that stuff. They're everywhere. So you can't sell Las Vegas on gambling anymore because it's, it still takes place, and obviously the casinos want to make money on it, but it's not what I would call a gambling mecca anymore. It's an entertainment and event mecca. There's no question about that. And for Las Vegas to survive and thrive, Jim, we needed this new stadium, which will bring in way more than just the Raiders in terms of major events. We will get a Super Bowl. I believe that by 2024, we will get one of the two major national political conventions, either the Democrat or Republican 24 conventions. I think you can book it, that one of those will be out here. Lots of other big events. And that's the direction the city had to go in. I know some of the residents are upset about the fact that, the Raiders are getting this ridiculously good deal. They are. It's the best deal any team's ever gotten, ever, as far as the stadium is concerned. But I think it's a win-win situation for the Raiders and for Las Vegas.
Dave, I'm totally on board with it. A lot of the funding is going to come through the hotels, which doesn't really affect the local residents because we don't stay in the hotels. But I'm sure that what happens in order to make an omelet, you have to break an egg. So you got to do something different. We need to become a major city. We are a major city size-wise. We're 2 million people here. And, I moved here in 1970, and there was 100,000 people here. So I've seen tremendous growth, but we've been held back by this archaic notion that gambling is bad and you can't be associated. Well, that's bullshit. And, if you go to other countries, and I've been fortunate in my life to have traveled to over 20 countries, and I've seen things in other cultures. Gambling is not that big a deal to most people. This is the entertainment capital of the entire world,
right?
If not the world, at least this country. And we need the entertainment. Now, I know we added a not a soccer, but a hockey team recently,
right,
as well. I'm not very optimistic about that, but I am extremely optimistic about the Raiders. We are now officially Raider Nation. I'm very happy to be part of that. And I go back to Oscar Goodman and his wife, who's now the mayor, and they did a great job helping to bring this about. And that goes back to Oscar's administration, because I know he pushed for things like this.
Yes, he did.
And it was a big plus, and his wife has carried that on. And we have a lot of other people that got involved to help push this through. It's unfortunate. I don't like when teams leave other cities. I mean, the Rams did it last year, and it leaves a lot of people with bitter taste because they're going for the money in different cities and stuff. I think that there needs to be maybe a penalty phase in that, but going forward. But the cities have to take care of these teams and give them the facilities they need. And I've been to the Oakland Raiders Stadium, and it is absolutely awful. And I went to a night game there, and I mean, they were playing the Jets. It was a couple of years ago. It was actually scary to leave that stadium after it was dark, the game was over, et cetera, et cetera. It was a scary situation. And believe me, and I'm not exaggerating because I'm not afraid very much, but it was scary. And I was with my wife, and it was just uncomfortable. And they need to build and take care of that issue. And I'm glad we have them. And it's going to help UNLV,
yes,
tremendously. And maybe going forward they'll become a major team again in football and basketball, and then get into better conference, and et cetera, et cetera. It's all good. It's all good for the city.
Yeah, and one other note, they're trying to assign blame as far as why they couldn't stay in Oakland. Well, first of all, they couldn't build two stadiums. That's just not feasible. Secondly, they had a couple of decades to fix this. And third, if you want to blame somebody, blame the 49ers, who have absolutely refused to budge on their territorial rights. Had they done so, I think you probably would have seen two teams in the same location in the Bay Area, and they would have been able to keep the two teams. But the 49ers have said, they've adamantly said no. And that means that Oakland basically had no place to go if they needed to move out of Oakland or somewhere. In other words, there was no place in the Bay Area that they could have gone. You know, they couldn't get into that San Jose market. It's the same thing with the baseball, by the way. The Giants have never, they will not budge on their exclusive rights to the San Jose market. I don't blame them. I mean, it's business, and business is about making money. So I'm not going to knock them, but if you want to point a finger at somebody, that's pretty much why the Raiders had to go someplace other than Oakland. And you might argue that they might have preferred L.A., but they were going to be third in line there behind the Rams and the Chargers, who, as it turns out, are going to both be in L.A. And that left Las Vegas. And I think, personally, it's a great break for the Raiders because they got a phenomenal deal. I agree with you on UNLV, by the way, and I think that within 10 years, UNLV will be in the Pac-12, which will go to the Pac-14. They'll probably find one other outstanding location. And that's great, not only for UNLV athletics, but it's good for UNLV academics, too, because it means the school is going to have to upgrade as far as that goes. The Pac-12 is a tremendous academic conference, some great schools. And that can only be good for the university and for the city of Las Vegas.
I totally agree, Dave. It's exciting. They were really excited in this town, all over this town yesterday. It was a fantastic celebrations and stuff. It was great.
All right, so let's look at some action on the courts. And we've got an NBA game tonight to kind of look over. And let's look at Miami and Detroit. Miami has actually lost 2 in a row. That sure hasn't happened much recently. They lost to Toronto, pretty one-sided loss, and then a tough defeat against the Celtics, who are now in first place in the Eastern Conference. But still, I mean, it's tough to go against Miami. They've covered 9 of their last 11. Long spread run now. It's 35-16-1. That includes 10 of the last 13 away. They want to make the playoffs. Detroit, they're playing like they don't want to make the playoffs, Jim.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot going on in Detroit, and it's not all good. They're on a 1-7 run, straight up 0-7 ATS, a straight up run, losing all 4 is chalk. I played last night, lost to the Knicks. This is a situation where they're probably going to I would say they're probably going to look at a new coach, and they need to turn things around there. This is a situation. The NBA is not, I'm not talking against myself here. The NBA is beatable. You can win money betting on the NBA, but it is not what I would call a pure sport. You don't know from night to night who's going to show up, who's going to try. You talk about an exhibition baseball situation. I don't know what it's any different in the NBA. At least in the exhibition baseball season and in exhibition football, you know who the hell's going to play.
Yeah.
Because they kind of tell you. But in the NBA, you can show up to the stadium after paying $1,000 for tickets, and nobody's playing that you even recognize. So it's a crazy sport. I love the playoffs. I've beaten the playoffs for so many years in a row, I can't even tell you. But when it comes to regular season, I'm really down on it.
Well, one good thing in the Warriors-Rockets game tonight, the Warriors have apparently made it clear they're going to not rest players this week. They want to wrap up the top spot in the West, which they can do with a good week pretty much, because they're playing Houston twice and San Antonio once over the next 3 games. So this is going to be where the Warriors play all their guys, and they're going to be intent on winning these games. And that makes it tough to go against them. I know Houston's a solid basketball team. Harden's getting some help from his supporting cast. The Lou Williams deal has worked out very nicely for them. They basically just got him for free, excuse me, from the Lakers. And he had 31 off the bench last game. The guy's an amazing 6-man. It's a real good game. I didn't play this game tonight, but I think you're going to see a playoff atmosphere in this game tonight. And you really can't say that in many of these NBA regular season games because of what you just said. But I think you're going to see it tonight. This could be an exciting game.
It can be, and I really am interested, and I'm going to watch this game. Like I said, I'm getting ready for the playoffs. I mean, that's where the money's going to be for me and my clients. And this is the type of event where you're going to get 100% effort. And I want to try kind of transition from this game to another situation, Dave. And I know you're deep into baseball. You follow baseball. You're excellent in baseball. And you need to repeat that offer again, because Dave is excellent in baseball. So am I, but I haven't been digging into the preseason baseball like Dave has. But I want to transition to what the hell is going on with Cleveland. This is a team, everybody thought they're going to march their way back to the playoffs and probably even be favored now that Durant is damaged. And they have fallen apart. Their defense is like atrocious.
It's terrible.
So what is going on there? Is it chemistry? Is it the coaching situation? Is it too much LeBron or not too much LeBron? Are they wearing LeBron out because he plays so many minutes? What the hell's going on there?
I think if they knew, they could fix it. I mean, obviously they're missing Kevin Love, which is, he's an important part of the team. But they're just, LeBron has said, I'm paraphrasing what he said here, but he's basically said that we've lost our confidence. And I think he's right. I mean, they just got their doors blown in last night at San Antonio. Now, I know LeBron got whacked in the back and had to sit out. And plus, he's had to scratch cornea. But, I think what we're seeing here is a classic Super Bowl hangover that started early in the season. And even when the Cavaliers were winning, they weren't winning impressively. And it's gotten worse as the season goes on. Sometimes hangovers stay with you for, well, not that I have any experience with this, but no, I don't anymore because I haven't tied one on in about, I don't know, it's got to be 20 years. Hangovers can stay with you. They don't just, vanish as the cloud doesn't go away during the day. And I think that, in a sense, what's taken place with the Cavaliers, they're still hungover from last year. It was a great championship win, coming back to win that series from the Warriors. But we haven't seen that same level of intensity, I don't think, at any point in the entire season from Cleveland. And, at some point, you have to maybe point your finger at an inexperienced head coach, which Lou still is, and say there's where the problem is. He has not found a way to get these guys motivated. It's not just having injury issues and maybe, primarily the injury issues. This team just has not shown that desire this year. And I think that they've been waiting for the playoffs to begin. And unfortunately, you can't just turn it on when the playoffs show up. You have to be ready.
That was my next question.
I think Boston might be better than Cleveland right now.
Well, and you got to remember Toronto. I mean, they made some moves lately in their
defense. But they lost Kyle Lowry, and that really hurts them.
Yes, but is he not coming back?
I'm not sure what his timetable is to return, but obviously they need it. But I think the Celtics look like the best team in the East right now, which I never thought I'd say that at any point until probably the last few weeks. But, I know that a lot of people are saying, well, it's not that big a deal for Cleveland. They don't care about the number one seed. It's just one extra home game or one extra road game, I should say. If that's their attitude, then they're not going to repeat. It's that simple. You should at least, and we're seeing the difference here with the Warriors this week. Now, the Warriors have had lots of situations where they've rested players this year, and they haven't played at quite the same intensity level as last year, which probably made some sense. But not this week. I mean, the Warriors, they're playing all their guys this week. They want that number one seed in the Western Conference. To me, I'd much rather support, come playoff time, I'd rather have my money on a team that wants something in the regular season and is going to go after it than a team that's just, well, we're going to wait for the playoffs. I think this is a dangerous road for Cleveland.
Let me interject something. Now, you mentioned Golden State, and I'm glad you did, because they have started to play some really good defense.
Yep.
And I don't know, what's the number on the unders? What are they, 15-1 under in the last 16 games?
They are 38-14 under the total in their last 52 games.
Wow.
That's pretty good. They lead the league in field goal defense. So this team's not going through the motions now. They're getting ready for the playoffs. And
so basically,
I'll take the Warriors over the Cavaliers in a breeze right now if it happens. There's no way. I don't think Cleveland beats them in a best of 7 if they happen to rematch.
Well, if they meet right now, that would be the case for sure. But it's down the road if they do meet. If these two teams can keep it together and get to that point, it would be an interesting matchup. But things would totally change if Cleveland can get by some of those Eastern teams that are actually starting to look pretty good. But these are two teams going in the opposite direction right now.
Yep.
And that's something to keep there's only a few games left in the regular season. Dave, why don't you repeat that offer for the $300 for your baseball? It's a good time to do it right now because
it's the whole month of April plus the last 4 days of this month. It includes whatever I've got in exhibition baseball. As of now, I don't have anything for today. I didn't play any of the early games. Still have to look at the night games once I get lineup info. So you're going to get all that for $300. Also, whatever I've got left as far as the tournaments are concerned, the number is 855-472-2577. And take advantage of this offer.
You know, Dave, I have some stuff going on too. My baseball season last year was absolutely remarkable. I haven't been focused on baseball like you have, but it was incredible last year. I won my offer right now is you can follow me, first of all, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Jim Feist Sports. And you can get free plays daily by texting GAME, G-A-M-E, to 25827. That's 25827. And just text in GAME, G-A-M-E. Baseball starts this week. Last year, here's the numbers right here. 212 and 160 in baseball. I don't lay big favorites. That's plus $4,247 at $100 a play. So you can see that was consistently solid handicapping throughout the entire season. You can get my baseball season for $1,899 right now at jimfeist.com. Or you could buy it by the month at $499 per month. Remember, I made people $4,200 at just $100 a play. If you're a $500 play, I'm sure you can multiply by 5. That's over 20 grand. So that's how my baseball season went last year. I'm going to be ready for it when it starts on Sunday. And Dave is already punching tickets in the preseason. So you want to get on Dave's package for $300. You get the both of us, and you're going to have one hell of a season.
And we'll also mention we have free plays every day on a recorded message at 888-294-1970. I believe we will do this again tomorrow. So make sure and check it out every day, almost every day, not weekends for the time being, with our podcasts. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday with another edition of Proline Daily.